In a slowly decaying, futuristic city, social class is determined by the amount of time you spend in a virtual world called the interface. Hi guys, my name is Emmanuel, and this is Tales from the Interface Live in its new time slot every Thursday around 9. I try to start a bit earlier if I can, depending on when the kids go to sleep. So I'm glad for everyone joining me tonight. What I do during the show is I draw my comic Tales from the Interface that you can find online at tfti.incorpora.com, and I will show you a little bit about that. So, okay, let me share my screen. Live. So this is Tales from the Interface Live. So what is Tales from the Interface? It's a webcomic, but it's also a printed comic. So you can read the comic online until a certain point. We're currently we just started this week in this new chapter called Blood Banquet. But Blood Banquet is the 7th chapter, so you can read all 6 chapters before that on the website. But you can also buy the book directly from the website, and you can get a package of all 3 books for $30 US. So it's I think it's quite a good deal. It's a 6x9 glossy book. I always have one on hand, but they're a little bit farther today. And also, if you want, for $15, you can get an extra sketch inside. I do everything myself. This is not sent from some print-on-demand factory. I have all the stock at my home, and I send them myself. So just to give you a bit of context on that, they're 6x9 glossy page, bleed, whole color, around 48 pages each. So for $30, you get close to 120 pages perhaps. The first book is slightly smaller, but the 2 and 3 are 48 pages of comic each. So I think it's quite a good deal. So what are we doing today? As always, I am continuing my comic Tales from the Interface Tales from the Interface. I am working on chapter 8. So this, currently online, chapter 7 is being published every 2 weeks, 1 page at a time. And I didn't mention, but you can get all chapter 7 inside the 3rd book, so you can read it before everybody else reads it online. But today I'm working on chapter 8. So I kind of storyboarded the story until the 5th book, which should be the ending. So now you can see the view of the book view, or the chapter view, if you will, for this new book. As you can see, it's 24 pages per chapter. That's why I'm saying 48 pages of comics. The book itself is slightly more pages than that. And last week I worked on a page 8. Last week and the week before that, I kind of focused on this page here. And today I wasn't sure what I wanted to work on. I'm thinking of working on this page here. That's what I've been working on. Or working on page 9. So I'm not sure. Let me go through the pages, maybe have a better idea. Something more fun to look at. I'm not sure what exactly. Anybody's watching, go ahead and let me know what you think. This is streaming live on YouTube as well as Facebook, so sometimes I get messages from different platforms. So I think page 8 is fairly advanced. I could just work on that a bit more, or maybe just work on page 9, on page 3. Page 4 is really not advanced at all. But I guess I can work on page 3. I think page 2 is fairly far enough. So I'm trying not to work too far in one page versus the other ones. Like I told you, I did page 8. This is really advanced, but I was fairly confident about this, that I wanted this page. So that's why I thought it was fine to work it a little bit more than others. But typically, I would say it's better to keep it around the same stages for each page. Don't make one page super advanced and the others not, because at the end you're very likely to hate that page. So because you get better, because you learn other things, or simply because you reach the end of the book and you say, oh damn, I forgot this thing, so I need to edit a page that has already been done, and then it's a big hassle if you need to redo a page, because what's doing drawing the page itself is what takes the most time. Storyboarding is fast, writing is fast to me. I'm sure there's other school of thoughts, but to me writing is fairly fast. So I would say that I start with writing. I try to get that nailed as much as possible, and then I go into storyboard and try to get that nailed as much as possible. So storyboard to me is a very rough drawing. I do a really rough drawing, and then I do a little bit less rough drawing on top of that, and so on and so forth, like layers by layers, until I have something that I feel is acceptable. So I'm looking at this first panel here, and in order to make the stairs, I would like I'm thinking if I want 2-point perspective or a 1-point perspective. I'm thinking, let me try with 2. So what is perspective? I don't know. Maybe somebody who's watching this doesn't know what perspective is. So you'll see how it works. It's pretty fun, because this software it's called Crypt Studio. It really has well, I'm moving the wrong thing. Okay, come on. Sorry about that. Program is kind of crashing. Okay, bon, there it goes. That's it. Okay, so you want to move the perspective grid. So there's a lot of perspective ways, a lot of things you can learn about perspective. I'm sure my knowledge of it is very limited compared to other people, but I try to do my best. And if I really would recommend, if you're interested in learning more about perspective and you're a comic artist, get the Perspective for Comic Artist book by David Chelsea. It is extremely good. It's in comic book format. It explains every notion. And there is a sequel called Extreme Perspective. So it tells you even more different, more advanced technique. And it's a very fun read, not too heavy. So if you're a comic artist or an artist who wants to learn more about perspective, I think that this is a great resource. Yeah. So I'm looking at a 2-point perspective. It's more dynamic. Usually I try to make it 2-point if I can. And I'll give you Yeah, I'll show you what it does in a minute. Okay, so you can see I've aligned my lines. I have 2 points going out. That's why it's called a 2-point perspective. So one on the right and one on the left. The lines are aligning with the stairs in both directions. So in this direction and in this direction and this direction. So that's why it's a 2-point perspective. Let me try to draw the stairs now. I wonder if no darker pencil. Probably like this pencil better. Maybe not. I like the real pencil, but somehow it's kind of became so light. I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, so it really makes this process much easier than traditionally it was to use these tools. So it aligns your drawing right away. So you don't have to take out the ruler or stuff like that. You can just draw and not beat yourself up because you're not straight or anything. So it just makes it easier to draw like within the perspective grid. So it's really useful tool, I found. And it also the marquees aligned to this, and like in Photoshop you have a like rectangle, so you see that it aligns to the different points. So it's really nice. And I'm sure I'm not using this to its full potential. So historically I've been a Photoshop user. I started using Photoshop when I was like 14. So yeah, so I know a lot about Photoshop, and I've been doing my comic on it before. And so many people were saying praises about clip paint that I had to check it out. Plus the fact that Photoshop is a pay-per-month model now, which is really not what I'm looking for. As a graphic designer, if my employer pays for a license, I really that's totally fine for them. It is a good software for sure. But as an artist, I don't need my software to be updated all the time. I mean, just keep it functional and stable, and I'm happy. I don't need new updates every month or so. So now that my stair is drawn, you can see it was fairly painless. I can try to just roughly square out where my character is. So I can see I wanted him to kind of climb the stairs, and she would be there. Again, this is kind of rough. I'm trying to get an idea where my lines would land. So he would be climbing like this. He would have his knee bent, probably something like that. So you kind of want to align just to show what a straight line looks like, so you can align your character based on that. So something like that. And then I have the line of the back, and I have a face like this. That's kind of turn. You know, just based on that, I can now kind of draw a silhouette that kind of makes sense. So for that, I don't want the grid because it's gonna look all weird. So I'm just gonna draw on top of that color with another color and another layer, and I won't need the perspective guide anymore. Probably even that is not needed, just so I can concentrate on the drawing itself. So like this. Of course, I can draw like that because I've done a fair share of life studies. If you can find reference, use reference. I am really pressed for times when I do comic. It's very limited amount of time I can spend on it. So I try to go by eye as much as I can. It's not necessarily what is recommended. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt, I guess. You can certainly go with your own process, you know. If you want a user's perspective reference, it's great. It's always better. For sure, you're gonna get a much better, much more realistic drawing. I kind of just go by eye and experience to try to make something that makes sense. I'm sure it's flawed in many ways. So, and I feel that the steps are way too small, too big for him. So either I reduce the steps. This fit the foot, but they're really high. I guess it fits his foot. They're just big steps. Not too bad. They look a bit big, or you know, maybe I should just make this guy slightly bigger and will look better. Probably looks more like what it should be, like this. So I want to adjust my drawing now to center my character better. There you go. I could also raise everything and cut off his head. So it's kind of like, ooh. Or just raise the guy himself. Just, I don't need this. Let's see. yeah, it's not uninteresting because we're, you know, the focus here should be on Clara, which is, she's not there. She's kind of out of the frame. This is a good stage to try and tweak the bubble, how they connect to your characters and where they land. I work on a fairly small format, so my bubble have to be big so that the text is not too small. So that's another problem. I would like to work in a bigger format, but you know, I try to make the best quality for give the best value to people who get my book, and I think that, you know, 6x9 is probably the best for in that sense. I guess this is the best cut for the text. Another thing I do is produce this book in English and French, so that's another complication. Especially since I use I work the storyboard in English, I should probably do it in French, and because the text is often bigger in French, not always. Okay, so in my sketch, she was kind of like that. So let's see how that looks. Reduce the opacity a little bit more. You gotta wonder if it's accurate though, because it's really hard when you don't have the whole thing. You need to kind of guess where she would land versus him on the stairs, and I'm hoping that this is fairly right. The composition looks okay to me. So at least there's that. I'm sorry. I should mute the microphone, right? Oh my god, the headphone sneezed. Alright. You're hearing my voice like about a second or so after I actually said it. So sometimes if there's a loud noise, I'll hear it from the headphones that are hanging here. I'll open the window. That more air. You may hear the crickets. love crickets. It really very relaxing to sleep with crickets. I would probably want to look at some 3/4 back images for this. I really not quite confident about this angle, so but I think, you know, for what I'm doing here, this probably is good enough as a, you know, as a next step. The point of this, you know, is really to kind of anchor the ideas, look at the composition of the page. So he's going to the right, which is he's advancing. She's in the back, following, trying to see the movement of the page, if it makes sense. I think the lines of the stairs direct to the second page, the second panel, and then you can have a thing that opens up to the last. I think that works. You know, I need to think not only about like every single panel's composition, but the pages as a whole. I used to do very exploded design for panels, and I try to for this comic to be really panel bound. The page before, like page 2, is really one of the most exploded page I've done for this whole comic. I think it looks pretty nice. It's a kind of a departure, but I like the idea. It makes them look like they're traveling longer, so I'm going with that. I think I still need to improve my consistency a lot. I'm still looking for my I don't want to say style. I think style is overrated, but you know, a way to draw in which I'm comfortable with. Not sure if it can be called anything else than a style, but anyway, I'm not necessarily trying to discover a way. I'm just letting it come naturally, if you will. Sometimes I forget to read the text. So a kind of a standard 1-point perspective here. Fairly simple. So you can see my first sketch is here, very, very basic. And then for the second one, I just went a bit further and added the grid and tried to kind of put some additional detail. You go slowly, you try to, get the sense of the whole page, little by little. So, let's see if I can make it a little bit more, a little bit further. So, I was thinking of a entrance here. And then there's kind of a corner wall. Usual, there will be pipes. There are a lot of pipes in this city. Pipes are cool. I feel I'm gonna receive some criticism that I made a bit too much pipes. I really enjoy receiving reviews and stuff like that, and it's always fun to hear what people got from your comic. It's surprising often, like you think, well, nobody's gonna catch on to that one, and then everybody sees the little thing that you hid, and that's something I enjoy quite a lot. So I do try to add a lot of details and little things, little Easter eggs that people can catch onto, and I find it rewarding when people actually take some time to look at the page and find those. And one of the reviews said that it's a comic that rewards you for looking, and I felt very happy to hear that. Because this is exactly what I'm trying to accomplish here. Why not another? Can have another kind of panel here. Then I do like to have my grids on my floor. But there might be a faster way to do this. If somebody knows, let me know. I probably don't watch enough of Clip Paint Studio tutorials. As I said, I like my software to do one thing. And once it does it, I kind of go with it. So another kind of thing like that. Like this, and maybe. Not sure what that would be. Was it a door? Is it? Maybe it's a door. Yeah, about reviewers, if you're if you have a channel, whatever channel, on whatever platform, and you'd like to have me as a guest, I am always happy to be there and talk about comics. My comic, other comics, it's always fun. If I know about them, I would love to talk about them. Currently I'm reading Berserk. Finally. I remember my friends reading it when I was like around 18, 19 and saying, oh man, this is so cool, and they knew all about it, but I had no clue. And I'm finally reading it. I have to wait for the creator to pass away, I guess. Now we know there won't be, unless the studio takes over, but I'm hoping that they kind of try to at least kind of end it at a part that doesn't suck. Like I'm hoping that I don't get to the end and there's some big like unfinished like business there. That wouldn't be fun. Oh well, we'll see, I guess. So I'm currently reading number 3. Okay, so this is kind of the basic room, and I think it looks pretty fun. And now I can put my characters on. And I think I can play around with the bubbles a bit more. Yeah, that's better, you know, it kind of centers the conversation on those two. I think I would like to write something on the wall here. So what I can do is probably all this and here. I can move them here. Let's see what it looks like. He's kind of looking down, so I guess I do have some line of color between those panels. Try to keep that thing always. I find might be a weak spot of mine, so I'm being extra paranoid about it. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna write some lines, some guidelines. So what's happening here is that Gautier, the guy, and Claude, the girl, they are well, Gautier has been given how many letters? The pic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Has been given a job opportunity that gives him a great apartment, and in a city that doesn't have a great apartment much. So they are, you know, in the process of visiting that place. By the way, this is a great way to create an easy center. So just make an X, and you're gonna find the center of your whatever box. So on top of that, I will draw my text. Some general guidelines for my letters. final, I'd probably just move the E. Okay is always a fun one to do. So center there. Never know if I should make it it's oblique. Yeah, something like that. That's good enough. No. I think this is good. So this would be a good next step, you know, to for this panel. As I said, you know, try to go too far. I just put a few colors in, just try to play around with my different layers and see how that will, you know, how it would look. The last one now. I call this level 2, but then in my I'm at to level 90, 81, 89. So this would probably be like level 100 or something. Okay, so I think my composition is not that great on this in this specific panel. I think I probably want to redo everything. See, it's an original sketch. I can't get more basic than that. But these guys are not bad. I mean, if I just take them maybe and put them in the corner here, slightly smaller, maybe. Then or here, and then yeah, the whole level there. If I think about how my page is structured, I'm kind of going this direction and then kind of expect something like, yeah, I think that makes sense. Because I want the focus to be on the city, but and then how the level looks. at the same time, the eye is always drawn to the people in the scene, and it kind of feel like they belong on that corner. Very difficult. Well, let's try like this. So currently I have a perspective grid drawn like this. Probably, let me see. Do I want to go freehand or not? Just to get a more looser approach on it first before I try to make sense of it logically. So this is my character's kind of point of view. He's looking towards there. So there should be some thing here. Maybe I can do like a very basic grid and see how that looks. So just a horizon line, or horizon. It's another thing with 2 points. You need, if one of the points is within the picture, it looks always off. So to change that, what I can do is make it without redrawing my grid. I could just try to stretch it a little bit so that the points are outside. Keep the same kind of line, but just move the. It just looks better if the points are outside of your field of view. And that's what I kind of found out after a while. So I have a basic grid here. What can I do with that? So he's kind of at the gate of this gorgeous fancy place. So drawing a gate kind of makes sense. At least to them it's gorgeous and fancy, but I could make it not so gorgeous and fancy. So maybe there's a kind of a pillar here with something on it. I don't know. there's a pillar here, there could be another one. Maybe it should be a line, so there should be one maybe here. And they would probably be more more here or something, like at the entrance of it, you know. So 2 columns. This just trying to kind of put a grid on the column as well to make sure that makes sense. As I said, you know, if you look at this, the closest your point is, the weirder it's gonna get when you're close to it. So this is limit of acceptable, in my opinion, if it is acceptable. So maybe this column should be bigger. So the question is, how do I make this place look amazing? It's I really don't know. Oh, there's some big pillar, that's nice. I kind of like a roll going in. Some lights. Maybe there's a kind of a view or something. I don't know, maybe there's a nice picture on the wall of a tree. And there could be a passageway with some people up top. Oh, salut Aya! On essaie de figurer comment faire une belle cité. C'est pas évident là. Faire de quoi intéressant comme ça là. Merci pour le... What do you call this emoji anyway? A wow emoji. Yoo! Well, so trying to figure out how to make this make sense. So there could be a door. I think that would be a 99, probably. Like little 99, the peak. Something like that. Can't be 100, right? It would be kind of a tree there. So I'm not sure what makes this so special to him. Guess it's opened. Might be another column like this. Not sure. I think something like that. I am guessing that would impress Gauthier. So let me adjust those. Maybe like some weird statues or something might impress him. Like some, it seems like, you know, that world, you know, you like to have like some kind of pieces of art to show your status, but people don't really appreciate them. They just want a status, not that. They don't appreciate the thing for what it is. They just appreciate the status that comes with it. Turn off the perspective grid, and I'm going to create a new layer, and I want to maybe put like a, just make sure I'm on a new layer, and maybe there's some statues here on the side, some kind of like Greekish thing, like some fancy garden, like maybe he's playing harps. That's good. Kind of It's hard to draw an arm very fast. So I'm just gonna write ARP. It's kind of playing around, and then there could be maybe soldier on that side, and then the musician on the other, and then maybe you know what? There could be some holograms of little angels flying around, and then you know, or birds or whatever. They're fake holograms thing. I think that already looks more interesting. Angels. The warrior. Boy, it's a very bad writing. Warrior. All right. Not sure I need this grid anymore. Something like that, I think works. So let's see. Oh, I think this page is far enough. I went far enough in it. I can progress. I can go forward to the next. But before that, I will need a P break. So I'm gonna put this on. I don't have a be right back, but I'll be right back. Hello again. Setting up my screens. All right. So, I believe page 3 is good enough for now. So, let's go to the next. Yeah, this page 4 is really rough. Yes. So basically, what's happening here is that they walk around the fancy neighborhood, and then they come across their house, a new house, and see their apartment. So pretty much, the only thing we see of that apartment is the couch. So it doesn't look necessarily much better than what they had before, but what the hell. It looks bigger though. Sorry. Okay, this is... Okay, for this I'll need a grid. When the that's the grid. Okay, that kind of grid. All right. I want the perspective ruler. As I said, if you create a 2-point, try to make it outside the viewing area. It looks always better. Actually, add a grid there. Oh, that's for the, okay. It's for the bottom, so just move this here. Here. It's actually a empty panel. I don't need this. I can remove it. I don't clean enough. My pages are a big mess. So this was the first step. This is the second step. So we're going to try to go one step further here. And then we'll take it higher. Ooh. So if you're wondering what it takes to create a comic, I've been doing this every night for since 2017, and for that effort I got 48, 2 comics of 48 page and another one of slightly smaller, although some part of the first one were already done. I took some stories that I created before and added them to the comic, but it gives you an idea. Of course, there's a lot of ways to do this. Some people they have a less time-consuming approach. They might be the smartest here. So I try to give myself a lot of trouble. And you know, you do wonder if it's worth it or not, but you know, it does help me a lot to, you know, relax and make something I feel like more fulfilled, more like I did something more not sure how to say it. Like, it's like you feel like you didn't waste your time. You know, you created something physical, something real, something that is in front of you. To me, that means a lot. You know, if I'm gonna play a game for 60 hours, I might as well create like 2 pages of a book. the memories, you know, what you get out of the game is so small, and you know the countless hours ever spent on it, they don't give you anything back. But the page will always be there, at least more, I think. So I don't know, that's my 2 cents about it. Okay, so then, how does that work? Column like this. Yeah, so, okay. Sorry, I got confused for a moment. So with this grid, this object would be shrinking like this. Yes, so let me fix that. Can raise this grid a bit too, I think. Our characters would be a bit more seen. I think it also makes more sense visually. There won't be any speech bubbles, so I can. Okay, so draw them here. Kind of gives you an idea of where things are just by drawing a general cube. I get more sense about my surroundings and it doesn't look really fancy like that, right? Wonder if I'm showing the right thing. Maybe this column could be like one of those statues or something. I'll keep this one rough a bit because I really changed a lot. I'm gonna think more on it. This door here. I'm gonna copy the grid of my previous panel. What? So I kind of wanted this to be an impressive door. I think I'm gonna draw freehand here and just try to get a more organic kind of thing. Here. Oh, God, hey, sorry. Or just say the so his name could be on the door, and then just not sure what angle to give it. Merci, Roberto Cini's art, for your liking my tweet about this video. If you're watching this, thank you. I'm trying to create a new panel for my comic and it's kicking my ass. So I'm going to start with the floor. So I have my two characters here. They are so it's like the floor is like this, like this. So I'm trying to kind of determine what the grid is here. So there could be something like that, right? Okay. So if I take this and then I try to align my tool here and try to make sense of it. Like this. And this. About here. About here. Okay, let's see. Sorry. It might be big a bit. I don't know. Well, why not? I guess it's fine. Just reduce the door a little bit. Still a very big door. Doesn't need to be that high too, I guess. And I think I will erase the whole panel. If it looks smaller. So I will end the live at 11 and continue drawing a little bit more. But you know, I just want to thank anybody who has stopped by. I really appreciate your likes, your wows, your follows, your subscribes, your click the bell for notification or whatever. That's always very much appreciated. This is the way that my comic gets known by people. So, you know, I don't have any marketing structure or whatever. You know, if you're interested about my comic, you know, subscribe to my newsletter. And you know, I'll make sure to let you know when there's a new issue available. So I hope that you're gonna have a great Friday. And I guess that's pretty much it. It was a very quiet week. I did change my glasses. I guess that was the highlight of the week. After a very long time, I got maybe these glasses maybe 10 years ago. So it's can't say that I didn't use them properly. So now I have some new glasses. Actually, I had to get 2 pairs because apparently I'm an old man now. I need some glasses to work, otherwise I get headaches. You look small, but she's closer. I don't know. I guess it's fine for now. She's kind of blocking the way of the door. No, that's annoying. It's harder to tell it's a door. Maybe like this. Maybe I want to flip the whole thing too. So they're going that way and then going, yeah, probably need to flip this, right? So all right. So good progress today. I'm pretty happy about it. I guess having this live thing, this live pressure gives me some motivation to concentrate on the work versus getting distracted by whatever butterfly comes in front of me. So yeah, it's a pretty good night. I think I advanced quite a lot, and I think anybody who's watching, be it replay or live now, I don't know. Oh, merci, merci SBBL, c'est bien gentil. So yeah. So we'll leave you there. And I hope to catch you around soon. So I changed my schedule to every Thursday around 9. So I hope to catch some of you there. So have a great night. And see you around the interface.